final legs of it happen on Sunday as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the final game of tonight, In Memory of Gabe versus SoaR Gaming. We're going to take care of the picks and bans, and then we'll toss it over to Aggro and Hindu Man for the final shouts. The bans coming out soon. We'll see which way Gabe wants to go. Taco's giggling, Chapo's drumming, the guys across the way are making faces. We need to figure out these matches.
Well, let's see one thing. I mean, Memory of Gabe took Fafnir, banned Fafnir. Will they give up Fafnir this game? I mean, they don't want to see Jigs on it, obviously, because they've taken it and banned it. Let's see if they give it up. I mean, Memory of Gabe first ban still. That means it. Oh, there it is. God damn.
The Fafnir ban, very important. The Kabrakin, however, I think is absolutely integral to where these teams are going to go. Sylvanas, very important ban as well. You can tell what's very interesting is that SoaR Gaming and In Memory of Gabe, with Jigs and Eonic respectively, very important parts of their teams on that support position. Of course, with those 4 bans, leaves a glaring hole. And Scotty, she's going to come on out.
And I can tell you for a fact that any team that gets the first pick, Scotty, is more than happy to do so. But at the same time, Andy finally gets his Raw. And we've seen Andy on Raw time and time again, and that's just scary.
Listen, Andy's Raw has single-handedly won games before. Andenster making the transition from the jungle into the mid lane early in the season left a little bit to be desired. But one of the first characters that he came out and said, look, I'm a mid laner now, was the Raw. What's it like being on the receiving end of that?
Yo, take cover. There's snipes coming your way.
He's going to shoot through the wall. He's going to shoot no vision.
You don't need to see.
He's going to find you. I mean, he made a name for himself playing Thor and getting those double taps through with no vision, through walls. He's doing the same thing on the Laser Chicken. So SoaR Gaming going to pair that up with Terra. Option over to In Memory of Gabe.
And I love the pairing with the Terra, because not only does Terra provide that sustain that you would want, but she also has a solid amount of peel, and she could potentially be a flex pick here. That could go for Jigs, that could go to FineOK, and either of those options already, I'm liking the sustain ability that SoaR is able to provide.
On the other end, I like that Memory of Gabe adapted and didn't first pick the Chang'e. They said, all right, Chang'e is not working for us. Let's go back to the Thorn. Just go back to our ways.
Ooh. You got Scotty, you got Thor on Short, you got Thoth on Herwind.
That's their guns.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch, but I am counting them right now. This is a dangerous draft for In Memory of Gabe to have, and they're not even done.
And this is Battle of the Chickens at the same time. You got Thoth facing off against the Raw. Who's the better American sniper in this instance? Is it going to be Andenster? Is it going to be Herwind? Both of them, we know, have been playing these gods excellently. So I'm definitely excited to see how it all unfolds.
The ROM taken by SoaR Gaming. I would say taken away from Snoopy, but he already has his Isoman. So Scotty is going to be the selection for Gabe. ROM will be the hunter of choice for SoaR Gaming. And now we're in our second round of bans. Osiris banned out by SoaR Gaming, so no high pressure in the solo. And Amaterasu, we know that Jigs does like to play that support.
I was going to say, I could see SoaR banning Odin here, and that's what they do. I mean, they have 3 gods that can't get out of the cage, and Walrus just showed, made a show with it in game 1, and, almost cost him the game with it. So I like the ban.
Yeah, I think that's an intelligent ban, and anytime Hunbats is banned, I'm giving you a thumbs up. The character can do a lot. The character can be an initiator. He can be a counter-initiator. He can be a raw assassin. He can be a support character. There's just too much that the Party Monkey does, so just take him off. Hercules one more time on the side of SoaR Gaming. FineOK looked so good. I'm just excited. I'm getting the popcorn.
I bet you can imagine. What if FineOK isn't on that Hercules?
That's interesting.
I could play the. I'm doing it again. Round 2, Devil's Advocate. This could potentially be Jigs on the Hercules instead. Unlikely, but possible.
I could see it just because Scotty is really bad versus Hercules. Hercules just walk up. It's free CC, free disposition. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I mean, you can, and like I said, Andenster really likes the Hercules jungle, so being that he's in the mid lane, a little bit less likely, but certainly something to think about. Why is that so funny?
Yeah, you know what? I can see Herc mid too.
Nobody said Herc.
Andy's going jungle, guys, and right now it's going to be Homie and Andy's, the good old-fashioned switcheroo. Nobody expects it.
Nobody expects it. I wouldn't expect it. I already expect it.
So on the desk, do I have to wait to 20 minutes to F6? I think I'm done with my team right now. This matchmaking isn't working out.
What do you mean we're dual queue?
Last pick for SoaR Gaming here, folks. Terra, Ra, Ram, and Hercules. They're going to round out their selection with a Susano.
Ooh.
That'll be Homie FA's of choice. Absolutely. Can certainly run the game. So, I'm done with you guys talking. One word. SoaR, Gabe, who wins?
SoaR.
Taco.
Undecided.
She's taking the easy way out. Aggro and Hindu, they're not so lucky. Let's toss it to them. Bring us the final game of tonight.
All I know is that you guys at home are the victors. That's all I'm going to say. Memory of Gabe versus SoaR for the final game here. Winner goes on to face EU United on Sunday. And the loser, well, they get to pack up their bags and go back to the hotel.
And they just have to sit and watch as Europe plays tomorrow, and then the winner of this plays up against EU United on Sunday. You're right. This is as high pressure as it gets right now. And again, this day has just gone on for so long, and that could just be such a mental drain. It's about who can stay focused for longer in this game.
But how is Cabrakan and Scotty getting through? Like, if you think about the bans in this, it should be Scotty, Cabrakan are the two major bans that need to come out. Everything else is
Well, Gabe's in a great position here because they immediately ban away Scylla to start it off, right? It's a respect ban for how well Annister played in Game 2 there. So they already know that they're going to get either Scotty or Cabrakan. Now, you could have seen SoaR ban neither of them and force Gabe to make a choice. Exactly, and they get one. Instead, they decide to only ban Cabrakan and ban Sylvanas instead. And I can't really blame them. I mean, Ionic has looked so good on Sylvanas. It's one of the gods that he's played at a high level, going all the way back to, you know, Season 1, Season 2, all those sorts of things. But you're right. I mean, Scotty has just been dominant basically all day. Noble, really the only team who didn't find any success with her.
That's true. But SoaR here, they did just win the last game in a comfortable fashion as well.
Yes.
They've got some of the picks that they had last time round, most notably, really, fine okay on Hercules.
If SoaR don't ward their backside entrances to mid, I might have an aneurysm.
I think we all will. I think everybody watching will, just because we've seen it
call a
2 times in a
doctor
row.
Because I don't see any wards.
It can't happen, man. Surely it can't happen again. Ionic and Snoopy, though, they're set up for the red buff here, but they've got Walrus. Look where Snoopy is. The cameraman's not showing you right now, but the mini-map is that Walrus is on this left-hand side as well, behind Calder. There he is! There's a little cheeky baby!
He's tiny. You can't see him behind that wall.
Well, Vetium's going to see him in a second, and he's actually going to see 3 members now because he can collapse from all sides. The beats early to avoid the slows. So important! But Ionic took the pluck, and with Calder being here, that should be a dead Vetium! Go, Calder, go! Vetium, no! Why did you stop?
I don't know. He probably would have died either way there, I think. Yeah. It was actually not that bad of an idea to
I just wanted to cast the chase, that was all.
That's true.
That's what I'm disappointed about. First Blood, though, will go the way of Memory of Gabe, getting him off to a great start again, just like what happened in Game 1.
It's almost like when you play Gabe, you should assume that Walrus isn't in his lane at the beginning.
Potentially, and then from there, ward to make sure he's not there, or invade the jungle. The good news is, SoaR did capitalize on that by invading the jungle. They steal away the blue and the speed buff away from Walrus, but Walrus has been in this spot before and came back into it in Game 1.
It clearly doesn't bother him too much, but he has gone for the multi-potions here on the Vamana. Vamana not especially efficient on clearing without mana, does need to use multiple abilities to clear the wave early on, so this lack of blue buff could come back to haunt him.
I mean, then again, so does fine okay, but the difference is that he does have a jungler in tow that is with him at the start of the game with a blue stone pendant. Purple buff on the left-hand side. After the red buff taken down for Memory of Gabe, they're already level 3. Vetium done a good job of hitting level 2 at least, and he's just got to sit under this tower.
This little area of the map where you see the little red circle, that's where Vetium's going to be for the next 10 minutes. That's where he needs to be for quite some time if he wants to be able to survive and get towards the mid to late stages of this game.
And this is what we've seen in the highest level as time has gone on. The map will be divided in half straight down the middle, pretty much. Memory of Gabe, they took the whole left-hand side of this map, both red buffs, and they'll get both purple buffs as well. But on the right-hand side, SoaR Gaming, they get both speeds, and they get both blues.
But early on, I think I'd rather have the speeds and the blues than the reds and the purples. The red buff goes off of your total power, so you're not getting a whole lot of effectiveness off of that. The movement speed buff is just a flat number where you move faster whenever you pick it up. The blue buff, you just get more mana back, and you get a little bit of CDR as well. Those early game buffs on the right-hand side just are a little bit more impactful than that on the left.
Well, Walrus got to be careful here up against Fine OK. Fine OK is level 5 right now, and you saw how destructive he could be on his Hercules last game. The Earthbreakers, if they hit, Walrus could be in a lot of trouble.
I mean, Fine OK just absolutely went off in Game 2. and I love to see him back on this Hercules in Game 3. Hercules is a rhythm character for me. It's about the timing, knowing your Earth, your Earthbreakers, just getting everyone pulled back, and just getting him on it 2 games in a row, knowing that he's comfortable. Really, really intelligent draft by SoaR.
And you mentioned the timing there, but Walrus knew that Final K hadn't backed and there was a potential of a gank there just because he knew all the speed and blues were down. So it's like, where would he have gone? He wouldn't have based just yet. He would have wanted to stay in lane a little bit longer if he can pressure me some more. Maybe there's a trap coming.
I mean, there's always a trap. Whenever you assume there might be a trap, it's always a trap. And that's exactly why I'm surprised we didn't see SoaR ward, because, again, Walrus, he's always trying to set a trap somewhere.
But it's not doom and gloom, even though First Blood did go over to Snoopy on that Skadi. It's not all doom and gloom right now for SoaR. They are still in this game. Their composition has a lot of sustain in it as this time goes on. And Memory of Gabe have to take that into account when we get to the team fight stages, making sure they have some forms of anti-heal.
But that's all the more reason that I love this Sobek pick. That Sickening Strike going to add a little bit of extra anti-heal. I'm assuming we'll see multiple Pestilences from both Walrus and Ionic. Whirlwind or Snoopy. We know Snoopy's going to go for Brawler's Beat Stick. Basically, every Skadi goes for Brawler's Beat Stick, just core in the kit for the power and penetration.
It's a good
but
point.
This is one matchup where that passive is going to pay big dividends up against not only Raw, but the Terra and the Hercules as well.
Well, there's a batter coming towards mid lane now, stepping up to the plate. There's 3 members on that plate right now that was created by Jigs, and there he's waiting fine. Okay, fantastic work though from Cynoshot to get away with the minuscule amount of health, but Whirlwind, he's in more trouble. Snoopy got picked up as well on the left as this is going on. SoaR winning across the map.
Meditation popped in the mid lane, keeps Fine OK nice and healthy. Now Ionic, he's in some trouble, rooted out by Jigs, driving strike as well. Fine OK puts himself on the board. Quickly, SoaR get 3 kills to their name.
And not just that, they'll get the right-hand harpies, the red buff on the left-hand side as well from Memory of Gabe's jungle, and force Cynoshot to come over and defend this side. But Cynoshot's got to be careful here, he's got no ult.
But he doesn't quite find the pull on the SoaR to get the beads. There's the beads out of Homie Faye. And Homie finds the kill and then lets SoaR know exactly what he thinks of him.
Okay. So I love the preemptive beads there from Homie Fa as well. He knew he could get the kill. It wasn't preemptive, I should say. He got hit by the wall, but beads knowing that he could still find the kill because he had cooldowns available, and Cynoshot had already used everything he had.
That's very, very true. I mean, just knowing exactly how much damage he can do. Homie Faye looked horrendous in Game 1. I think that that's pretty fair to say. Just never got anything going, and even whenever he tried to hit his ultimates, he was missing Scythe after the stun, missing the ult, all these sorts of things. He looked great in Game 2 on that Cabrakan, and now seems to be in the zone early on here in Game 3.
Well, now we've got a ball game between these 2 teams because it is just a best of 1 left. First to 2 wins will move on to face United. And after the first blood going to Memory of Gabe, SoaR have answered back. But Memory of Gabe is still in a comfortable position right now. The only big problem I see is that jungler Homie Fa on Susano, who has just over a 2-level lead on Cynoshot.
It's a large lead for Homie Faye, and Susano is one of those characters that you really don't want to fall behind against because of the fact that he's so safe with his multiple mobility abilities. And then you've got his passive as well on top of that, giving him extra movement speed when those dashes are on cooldown. How do you catch this guy? You just can't.
And now Ionic might have to forgo getting some experience to catch Cynoshot back up a little bit, I expect, and that's why you saw him splitting the mid wave a little bit more there. But he isn't the back harpies there, so we'll soak that 3 ways and slow down the experience gain for his own jungler.
No, it's the back harpies, there's 3 of them, so you can split it 3 ways.
Gotcha.
That's how that works. 1 for each.
I remember that, just for future reference. Left-hand side, though, the Hunt is still going at it. The only reason Rama really gets picked most of the time against a Skadi is just he's more survivable than most of the other Hunters. You can't really do well against the Skadi in the lane. In a boxing match like that, that's what happens. But if you do get within kill range, you can take to the sky and hope. Yeah, just hope your team's coming.
It's just about buying yourself time, basically, in that ROM ultimate. Now, there are a couple other interactions where the Astral Arrows take 2 hit points off of Caldier's 5, but a lot of times it's Skadi's ulting, and on this patch, that means Caldier is immune, so that doesn't really matter.
Well, Snoopy might get caught again, but he's staying very far away from that right-hand side, knowing there could be danger. The permafrost helped him out from the danger a little bit more than he needed to, and Caldier paid the price, but it's okay. Caldier regens.
Homie Faye almost took a ride right underneath the tower. There's how you see permafrost is just so strong, not only in terms of the CC, but once Snoopy starts getting some points into that ability, it does a ton of damage, and it's guaranteed. That is an unmissable ability.
And now Sandshore's head over to the left-hand side, but bad news is Vetium is not around. Fine, okay, however, in the mid lane is around. Fantastic stun out of Hurrywin there, just to prevent the opportunity of that Earthbreaker being available.
Hurrywin on the Thoth once more just looks so comfortable on this god. And it fits Hurrywin's playstyle so much more. We've seen Hurrywin just experiment with these hunters in the mid lane, the Cupid pick up against Oxygen Supremacy, which obviously did not work out. Game 2 there, the Hu Yi. I'm done. I'm done seeing Hurrywin on mages. Or on hunters. He carries on mages. Put him on mages and let him do work for the team.
Well, right now he has fallen down once, but that Doom Orb is stacking up now. 16 stacks online for Hurrywin on that Toth in the mid lane. And we spoke about the positioning, very important to Toth, just like Giannis. Gold Fury being looked at by both teams, but mainly it's for the Oracles, more so than the Gold Fury at this stage.
And that's just about that vision, knowing that Vetium can continue to push up like this, up against Snoopy. He's really been on his tower line most of this game, but the Oracles are split. Ionic looked like he stole one away there with that sickening strike, so no vision for anybody.
No vision for now, but wards will come into play a little bit as time goes on there. Do remember splitting the mid lane, level 9 for Sinosure now. Done a pretty good job of slowing the gap on homie Efe, who's at level 10, but the speed buff may change that.
Exactly, level 11 now, just above 2 levels lead.
It's like I've casted games before.
Yeah, well. See, if I were you, right there, I would say we couldn't tell, because I would be mean. But I'm not mean, and so I'm not going to say that.
Okay. Good work there. Elementals have just respawned as well on the right hand. I've got nothing to say to that because you're aggro, and everybody knows you're aggro too. So it's like, listen, aggro spoke, no one listened, so it's okay. Elementals have spawned on the right hand side there. There you go. But no one's going to go for them yet. Sinosure has his ultimate available, potentially looking for a pick onto Anninster in the mid lane if they can find it. Instead, I'll just accept the back harpies for the time being. It's gone a little bit quiet all of a sudden between these two. They both starting to realize now, aggro, they're even.
Yeah, this is a very evenly matched game, not only in terms of these drafts, I think, but in terms of the player skill as well. 2 top-tier teams in North America and the world, without a doubt in my mind here. Just going up against the right to play against E United in the NA final on Sunday.
I just realized that Memory of Gabe and SoaR are not the top teams in North America. They are great teams,
sure,
but you still got Eager, Luminosity, and E United above them. This is the level of competition North America has, and the Challenger circuit out of North America just showed how good they are as well.
Yeah, they pushed Gabe to the limit going up against them earlier on today. We talk about it all the time, and I'm sure everyone's sick of hearing it, but the level of competition has never been better in SMITE than it is right now. These teams just continue to improve and improve.
Gold Fury pulled by SoaR here, but they're taking a long time to do this. Whether they're baiting for a fight or they don't think they've noticed, they have been, because the Ionic's already there. And there's Sinosure collapsing onto Annister straight away, and he didn't chill out there. Instead, he turns the snipe on its head, and it's Sinosure in the face! Hurrywin getting sniped out as well on the backside of that as that continued, thanks to the snaps coming out from Vetium, and now Walrus is in trouble.
The jukes from Andy are good, and he turns it around and kills Walrus as well. 3 dead now for Gabe, all centered around Anninster, just buying time with that heal.
That's just one of those things where I just go, okay? Like, I don't understand what exactly went wrong there. They collapsed on the Gold Fury SoaR, which was a little bit suspect at how they were doing it too. It looked like they were trying to actually burst it, but they didn't have the damage output. Instead, they dispersed.
I think that was I think that was a bait. They were doing that Gold Fury slowly, intentionally, to make Gabe think that they had blown some cooldowns, maybe, just trying to bait them into the fight. Sinosure goes way deeper than anyone on Gabe can follow up with. The final judgment came out, but it wasn't on to Anninster because he was just too far away from Hurrywin at that stage. And that's one of the things that's very difficult about playing these long-range characters like Thor. You can just get a little bit farther along than you really intend to. It was a great dunk in the right target,
sure,
but not with where the rest of Gabe was. The turnaround was phenomenal. And not only does SoaR take the fight in the Gold Fury, but now the Portal Demon as well.
And that just continues to extend the lead a little bit more. Jig's now happy to sit on this right-hand side. 3,700 gold in the lead, 5,500 experience as well. And only 12 minutes in. Is this going to be another one of these games between the two where it's just 20 minutes, GG?
I don't think so. I mean, this game, it's right underneath 4,000 gold, yes, but every big objective is now off the map, which means it's going to be at least another about 4 minutes until SoaR could continue to push this lead up with another Gold Fury, something along those lines that could really
fight. Okay. He's still going to go for it. Potentially, he's thinking about it. He's got to be careful of Walrus, though, but stopping the back out of SoaR as much as possible. The team on the left-hand side from SoaR, though, aren't doing much with this, and now FineOK could be in trouble from staying around too long.
FineOK got sundered there by Walrus. SoaR tried to go for the dunk and realized he would have probably died even if it had hit. So instead retreats, and FineOK takes the 2v1.
Meanwhile, in mid lane, Horriwind is getting 3v2. The Ionic was there, but a little bit late to that party, and the party poppers had already popped onto Horriwind's face, and with that, SoaR do find a win based off what FineOK was doing right.
So in game 1, you were saying, I don't know about this raw ban. Now you see the raw ban. Annister has been on point every single time. Homie Faye also on point. 5-0-1, cleans up Snoopy.
And Homie FA could be the next on the list, though, from my memory Gabe's point of view. Ionic gets credit for that kill. Getting the shutdown on Homie FA, they don't necessarily want it onto the SoaR. They would have liked to that potentially go to SiNoSure or Walrus there, who are both struggling a little bit in this game.
Yeah, or even Snoopy, just give the guy who's a little bit ahead, who's even or close to even, a kill, but he was still busy sitting down after that kill from Homie Faye.
And that's the hope I'm looking at from now already for memory of Gabe is towards Scardy, who is still equal level in the Hunter role. Hunters, as the game goes on, once you said he's going to potentially go for the Brawler's Beat Stick, which it looks like he's working on next. The anti-heal will come into play, but the burst damage and control that a Scardy can bring can be insurmountable.
Oh, it's crazy. Just not only that, but easy Brawlers procs onto these healers from SoaR from a distance, able to use that 1, use the 3, able to put that anti-heal onto the sustained characters of SoaR. And that's the thing I was about to bring up, though, is that this lead for SoaR, what do we usually see from healing compositions? They kind of take it on the chin for a little bit, and then they turn it around with a mid-game siege.
Knockout punch.
Exactly. Now, they're the ones who's already jabbing away at Gabe's defenses, and once that healing starts to become even more potent, it's going to be really difficult to handle.
SiNoSure once again. I do feel like he uses that ultimate off cooldown, but he's playing it the right way for how his team utilizes it. If he finds the dunk, or even just draws the attention of him for a moment, he can turn it around. Talk about turnaround here. Vetium did a good bit of poke onto Snoopy, but he's forced into the sky. Snoopy's been baited a little bit here.
Without a doubt, Homie Faye's here and sets up Vetium for the 3rd snipe. Vetium hits all 3 and cleans up Snoopy. SoaR also recognized that Snoopy is Gabe's greatest hope and immediately go to try and shut that down.
Well, SiNoSure on the left-hand side to defend. Ionic and Horriwind about to join him, but that means Horriwind's got a decision to make. Defend the tier 2 or lose a full wave in mid lane. Most of that mid wave is going to be dead by the time Horriwind gets there anyway, so another small win for SoaR.
And you just cannot afford to give up more mid waves if you're Horriwind at this stage in the game, but there's a Terra's Blessing pop. Homie Faye looking for him underneath that tier 1 tower. Look at the damage. Homie Faye just solos down Horriwind and dashes to safety.
Listen, Homie FA may have had a bad game the first of this set, but not the last 2. Mid tower is going to fall down at the same time as SiNoSure is taking a lot of poke and is forced out, as is Ionic, but Ionic's going into an awkward spot.
The snipe didn't quite hit there for Annister, but it's not going to matter in the end as he picks up that kill. Another one goes the way of the SoaR mid laner, and now 12-2 in the lead in terms of kills.
Really big situation for SoaR to be in right now. After going down 1-0 to memory of Gabe in a ruffle stomp of game 1, the last 2 have been in SoaR's favor. This one is looking the same way right now.
This is the SoaR that we've seen the last few weeks of the spring split. The game 1, that was the first few weeks of the spring split from SoaR.
That's true.
Starting off 0-6, just finding absolutely 0 success in those games. They have to forfeit up against eUnited, and that's why I really am excited to potentially see them face off, because they didn't play each other during the regular season.
Straight to Snoopy, and Snoopy's down to 25%. Make that 0 after Vetium cleans it up with the in-hands. Gold Fury now going to be started by SoaR. In the sky is SiNo.
Looking for it, thinking about it, but instead get a dunk onto FineOK and then just get out of dodge. FineOK just not even worried about it. SiNo knew he would have been all by himself. He's already about half HP, low on mana as well. No contest coming out of Gabe. And that Gold Fury pushes this lead for SoaR up above 7,500.
But I don't think Gabe can really give up this Portal Demon as well. They've just gave away gold Portal Demon, gold Portal Demon. If they give this one as well, they've got to contest this. If they don't, this is just getting too far out of hand once again.
And they just don't. They just have nothing but to do but stand there and watch. SoaR continues to just dominate here in game 3.
Small window, potentially for memory Gabe, is the amount of anti-heal that is now coming online for them. 3 members now with some anti-heal with the Pestilence and 2 Brawlers Beat Sticks, but it might just be too late. We talked about sustained comps, and if they get a lead, they can really punish you. They had a lead before even Sustain came into play.
It's just been unbelievable, the play out of Homie in particular. 6-1-3 on the jungler. He's top of the player damage as well. And it's not just been poke damage, which Susano does quite a bit of. It has been, I'm going to all in and kill you damage. Every single time he sees Whirlwind, he's immediately jumping right on top of him. That mobility that Thoth has, that's fine and all, but Susano doesn't really care about that because he still has more mobility than any other character.
We'll talk about Homie FA. He's on the left-hand side now, getting some free farm. Walrus walked a little bit too far forward there, wanted to check the Fire Giant. Sinosure got a double tap off, but now he's got no hammer to get away. Has to spin to win, but the snipes are raining down, going to get the Aegis out of him there as well. He's Vetium, and Andis is in a bit of trouble again, but the juke boots are still real.
Trying to get away, but now locked in place. Vetium finds Walrus, but Sino comes crashing down and secures the kill for Snoopy onto Aninster.
Sinoshure's going to look for the damage onto Jigs and try and trade this one out, but it's a level 13 Guardian against a level 14 jungler, and with Vetium just behind Jigs there, it's going to be an awkward spot. Meanwhile...
Ooh, Homie Faye able to get taken out there actually by Whirlwind, while Fino-K finds Snoopy. Sinosure just going to farm up the enemy back camps because that's where he is. Jigs does end up escaping.
2 for 2, and that goes in favor of Memory of Gabe just because of the shutdown bonuses. They picked up Homie FA, and they picked up Aninster in mid lane. Huge. They are 2 big names to get, but who got their scalps?
And that Whirlwind was one of them. He got on the board, getting an extra 5 stacks onto that Doom Orb, as well as that ever-important gold and experience, which is definitely needed. He's only level 14. The problem for Gabe, though, is that Walrus in this game has just been completely absent. Games 2 and 3, Walrus has just been handled by Fino-K on this Hercules. Both times the exact same matchup. Walrus only level 15. It's just impossible to frontline when you are down in levels. Warriors are phenomenal from ahead, but they're designed to play from ahead. From even or behind, they just aren't nearly as effective.
Memory of Gabe, they'll need to do a couple more fights like that. They have to dance with death over and over again. Have to. They are dancing with death every time they go in against this overly fed enemy team that they're against. Sinosure has to go in like he has been doing in the last engagement and then get out at the last minute. Even if it means he could potentially die, you've got to go for it.
There's just no chance for them to come back if they're playing safe. It's just not possible. They have to, unless SoaR makes a grievous error, but with how SoaR's playing right now, that just doesn't feel likely.
Ionic forced to dash away, and Sinosure will drop the wall as well to help with his escape. But the Fire Giant at the moment is going to be the focus from SoaR. Fino-K on zone duty, but it's by Memory of Gabe time to get over here to defend.
This is pretty early for the Fire Giant, only 20 minutes in, but the gold lead is pretty exorbitant, about 8K. Fino-K doing his best to create a zone there, but Walrus immediately walks right past him, but has to go up into the big baby.
But I don't think they needed to fight this Memory of Gabe. Now Sinosure dunks in, Aninster's already taken out one though, as Vetium was sniping from the sky. Sinosure will pick up Aninster off the back of that. The crit onto Walrus was pretty good. Vetium wants to give chase as Fino-K takes out Sinosure, and poor old Ionic will also fall.
Left behind, only Walrus and Whirlwind remain, but Fino-K wants to make that only Walrus if he had a choice. Homie Faye's looking to clean up, as well as the last 3 members, or other 2 members rather. Aninster falling in that engagement, so it's only Jigs and Vetium on this Fire Giant.
That fight was just a little bit weird for me from Memory of Gabe, because they weren't on the Fire Giant SoaR anyway. Walrus saw that, but he popped the big baby and went, all right, let's go. Okay. No, it's Jigs. That comes before. But that was awful. There's nothing to talk about. On top of that, Walrus just did that too. So 1 for 1, great plays. Fire Giant, and now the tier 2 tower in mid lane going to go down to Fino-K here as well, as he will take that up against Whirlwind. Fire Giant on only 3 members of SoaR here, as Aninster was dead, and Jigs decided he wanted a faster trip back to base.
Fino-K really wants this red buff, but Whirlwind secures it despite the ultimate out of the Hercules. At least I think he got it.
Yes, he did. If you didn't realize. Yeah. Meanwhile, everything is fine and dandy for SoaR. They can look to the left-hand side to continue to push for the tier 2 tower. It's already at just above half health right now. It's an additional 1,500 gold for the coffers, as will this Gold Fury add to that as well, and they're going to get that for free.
Without a doubt. 3 members have Fire Giant. Aninster was dead. Jigs killed himself right before that Fire Giant went down, so only Homie Faye, Fino-K, and Vetium have it. But I don't think it really is that big of a difference either way at this stage in the game. When you're up about 12,000 gold, you can get away with a lot of misplays.
Well, Memory of Gabe are looking to try and at least get a tier 1 tower on the right-hand side here, but the problem is the reinforcements of SoaR are on the way. Jigs is watching in the wings here, as Final K is taking on 4 right now, but 3 members are still with him. Meanwhile, Agro, what's going on left?
Vedium is there, Hindu. He's pushing down that last tier 2 tower in the left-hand side. Cynosure forced up into the Anvil of Dawn just to get out of the pressure that SoaR was exerting onto him. Tier 2 tower falls on the left to the hand of Vedium. Only 1 tower still remaining for Gabe that defends their base.
And SoaR keeping so many people on the right-hand side is going to allow him to get the Portal Demon as well as that tier 2 tower. The gold lead is out of control.
You're just exorbitant right now. There's really, that's the word, it's just way too much for Gabe to handle at this stage. And again, I liked the idea to try and play aggressive and try and play, you know, all in, just make a play if we can, but it just didn't work out by that Fire Giant. And now you just have to wait and hope that SoaR makes a mistake.
Well, let's see what SoaR can do with this, because there's only 1 tier 2 tower left remaining, and then they should just pretty much swing over to the left-hand side. The furthest Phoenix from the Fire Giant is always the preferred one you'd like.
Walrus gets pulled out of that clear the path, but Homie Faye being alone means that Walrus is going to be able to escape. Nice decision from him to not use that Colossal Fury. I think a lot of players may have panicked in that scenario and used it.
Well, right now they've got a call to make here, Memory of Gabe, because Cynosure's on the left-hand side, split pushing for a tier 1, trying to get some farm to catch up. But he may need to get back here relatively quickly, and that's why he stops DPS on the tier 1 to get back for the defense of the Phoenix.
But he doesn't have his ultimate quite yet, so he's got to walk up and try and make it happen. Walrus, see ya,
just
dude.
So you know, Walrus had an ultimate then, but he's not going to get to use it. Snoopy has an ultimate, but he might not get to use it either because Vetium's forcing him back. The Phoenix is not got an ultimate, but it doesn't matter because it's dead anyway as well.
Only 2 members have ults. Anister used his there as well to try and make sure that Walrus fell, but I don't think it's that big of a difference. There's Terra's Blessing coming out of Jigs. This Phoenix in the mid lane just falling too low as Jigs cleans up Cyno.
And the Phoenix gets cleaned up at the backside by Anister. Vetium rolls in to pick up Snoopy as well. Can they end off right now, Aggro? It looks like they're going to go for it.
They're going to try. They don't even want to worry about that left side Phoenix. Ionic and Heroind watch as SoaR and Gabe spring split. They're moving on to face off against E United on Sunday.
I wouldn't say the Memory of Gabe versus SoaR set was